about this love, about this, about this love, about this love, love.
How you guys doing today? You are tuning into About This Love with myself, Dale Skinner, and my wife, Charel.
Hey.
How you guys doing today? We just want to communicate with you guys with another episode and share with you guys the activities that we are doing with the COVID-19 still going on. But before we get into the conversation for today, I did want to say, as always, you can follow us on Mixcloud, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, iTunes, TuneIn, YouTube, Audio Mac, and Facebook. And wherever podcasts are found, you can find us up there. But for today, let me go ahead and just cut straight to it. I know, was it Friday in Maryland, some of the businesses opened back up, and a lot of the beaches also opened back up as well. And me and my wife, we were just having a discussion, I guess, just saying like, one, talking about activities that we had been doing while COVID-19 had been going on, because it's still going on. And then two, we were talking about, with everything opening back up, or I'm sorry, not everything, with some things opening back up, especially the beaches and some recreational places. I was asking her, did she want to go, and things like that. And I was just sharing with her that after having a conversation with some folks today, a few different folks who went to the beach this weekend. It's about 3 or 4 different people that I just at my job I was talking to them, and most of them had went to the beaches in different states, but a lot of them had said the same thing, which was that the beaches were packed, and that people were people were there without masks. And I told my wife, I said, well, my main concern was that COVID-19 is still going on, like there's not a cure for it, and the death toll is still going up. As a matter of fact, when I looked at the death toll yesterday, it was 88,000 and some change, and today it is 90,608 deaths. So it's gone up a little over 2,000 people, a little less than a day. And in Maryland, it's 1,992 deaths. And I think Friday or Saturday, it was like it was like a 900, 1,000. So again, the deaths are still going up. So I guess, honey, I mean, you had the discussion. Do you feel okay with going to a beach with it being packed with people not wearing masks? We'll share, insight on that, and then just share, with everybody, what you and I have been getting into since the COVID-19. I know we have been going to the parks, but again, like I was saying to you earlier, the parks that we've gone to aren't really like packed or like full to capacity. It's still a little light. Versus going to a beach, what I'm hearing from other people, that's like it's packed like sardines. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, like I was saying, I mean, well, in our private conversation between you and I was just saying that I think that is very important for each family to govern themselves appropriately. Like, I mean, obviously be cautious, but we have pre-existing conditions such as asthma. And so, of course, it's like, let's take the proper precautions before just kind of going out, because we've noticed that the trend has been the COVID has been hitting people much harder if they've had a pre-existing condition.
I think people are still kind of like, yeah, man, it's not real, man. It's just the government. Because I know I was talking to somebody today, and they kind of hit me with that. And I didn't really say anything, because I'm like, well, it can't be the government, because, a lot of the hospitals, in Baltimore are filling up in the city and in the county, and bodies are dropping. So it's like, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound sensitive when I say bodies are dropping, but what I mean to say is that the death count for COVID-19, is every day it climbs up. So for someone to say, it's just a myth, or I don't believe in all of that, I think, unfortunately, I just pray that they don't get it, or catch it from just being careless, but I know a lot of the activities that me and my wife have been getting into, because just bring it back full circle, one of the things that we've gotten into is skating.
We had spoke about that before.
Yeah, we spoke about it before on one of our previous podcasts, but I know some of the parks around our home, they're not too packed. Like, so it's like we might go there, and it might be like, I'll say 30 people, but
It's way more than 30 people, but it's a big,
yeah, it's a big park. It's like a huge lake. But we've been going there skating, and we also go as well just skating because but for us we hadn't skated. I hadn't skated since I was like 19 years old. So 31 years old, getting back into skating. Well, I was probably 30, but 31, for the sake of argument. But I was 31 years old, getting back into skating, and I mean we started doing it and fell in love with it all over again. And I was telling my wife I hadn't skated since I was like 19, 20 years old. So because we had wanted to get out of the house and let our son do something, because
schools are closed.
Yeah, schools are closed in Maryland. So it's like we didn't want him to be in the house all day, just doing schoolwork. So we got into skating, and then we also got into gardening, and we just been doing a lot of projects on the outside of our house. Just making the our house outside of it a little bit better. We just buying patio furniture, for our deck. Maybe if she wants to, she'll put the picture in one of the one of the things.
Oh yeah, I shared it on our Instagram.
Oh, you did? Okay, cool. Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Well, I shared half of the front porch. That's where the dog was sitting. If you guys follow us on Instagram, or if you don't follow us on Instagram,
follow us now.
Follow us now at About This Love. We're also on Facebook at About This Love. But so I shared it on our Instagram and our Facebook, just kind of what we started to do. And in the post, I pretty much was just sharing how a lot of different wives were sharing with me over the course of our marriage, just about how important it is to make your home, a place of refuge and, to come back. So like when either one of you come back home from being out of the house, having a long day, and especially with the COVID going on and with people getting sick and, you get half of the people that you interact with are in fear. The other half are conspiracy theorists. And it's kind of like you're sitting there like, okay, I just want a place to just...
Some are fearful too. Some are fearful.
Yeah, I said that first.
Oh, I'm sorry. I ain't catch that.
Well, no, it's cool. But I mean, yeah. And then, but I'm just saying there's just a place, you want a place where you can come home and just like hang your hat up and just like relax from the day. And so, I mean, with me like becoming like teacher to, our son, and also having the new baby, like our house is getting a little out of control with just the clutter and just the mess. And so I think that's been one of my focuses is just, okay, how can I organize? How can I, just clear the space, clear the counters, throw stuff away. You and I, we have been selling things, just whatever we can sell. But I think that started before. Yeah,
before.
Okay, that started before. But I mean, hey, making an extra $10 that we wouldn't have made otherwise, that's kind of neat to do. But I think you had mentioned the skating. One thing that I felt like I've picked up doing is crocheting. So some friends of ours have moved, and not crocheting hair. Ladies who know about crocheting hair, I can do that too because I am a licensed hairdresser, but I'm not doing hair. And so I'm talking about crocheting blankets. And then I'm just like, something sparked in me where I'm just like, oh my gosh, I got all this yarn that I bought like a couple years ago because like I believe Michael's is closed. Joann's fabric may be closed. Or
I thought it would make up.
Oh, they might be open back up. But either way, like, but for a while, I know the craft stores were closed and you could probably only do like curbside pickup or whatever. And I just remember having all this yarn like in the closet, and I'm like, okay, well, I can do something with this yarn. And I just I'm crocheting a blanket for some friends that had moved. And I mean, it's a really big blanket. So, I mean, that's something else you can do if you're if you're like me and need to keep your hands busy with something. I mean, like crocheting or knitting. What else? Do you have something else that you're doing?
No, I mean, I just been, like I said, I just been doing like little yard stuff, yard projects. Because I know me, I like being outside. I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day. We was on a video chat with a few of our friends, and I was just telling my buddy's wife, I said I like being outside because I know during the video call he's like, are you outside? I was like, yeah, I'm outside on the porch. When my wife, she was inside the house. I was.
Oh yeah, you were sitting. You were just sitting outside.
Yeah, sitting outside with the dog. And I was like, yeah, I just like being outside. So me, I always find myself doing things outside, and maybe that's because I work for the railroad, so I'm used to being outside all year long. Whether it's cold, rain, sleet, or snow. Well, not so much as rain, but we are out there in the snow, hell or high water. We're out there. So I've gotten accustomed to being outside. I like being outside. So I know for me, sometimes. And I did want to clarify when I said skating, roller skating. I was thinking about it. I was like, well, hold on. I know because I was watching the YouTube videos of a lot of people since COVID-19 have gotten back into skating.
Yes, I've seen
some
that.
skateboarding, some rollerblades, some roller skates. So I wanted to clarify we have been roller skating.
Do you want to admit to our listeners that you tried rollerblading at first?
Yeah, I was doing pretty good, but it's my right leg for some reason I could never get it to be straight. So I just gave up. And it's like, you know what, you're right. I probably just go ahead and get the skates. So I
get the quads.
Yeah, I traded in my they call rollerblades, for those who are familiar with skating terms, they call rollerblades inlines and they call roller skates quads. Because rollerblades are in a line, and I don't know why they call skates quads. I guess because
it's four wheels.
But both of them got 4 wheels. Roller skates have 4 wheels too. I mean, rollerblades have 4 wheels too.
Some of them have 3 now. Actually,
yeah, you're right. No, you're right.
But
yes,
you know what?
Right.
That's a little roller skating terms and terminology. If you guys are thinking about getting into, roller skating, rollerblading, like that's a good thing to do, and it's actually a trend. Actually, did I show you that celebrity? Mike Epps, roller skate.
My coworker was like, "Yeah, Dale." He showed me that. He's like, "I seen this and thought about you and your wife." Yeah.
But I forgot he was in that movie, Roll Bounce. He was in Roll Bounce. I went back and watched Roll Bounce the other day.
Charel, he was, but he wasn't skating, so like that's irrelevant.
I mean, he could have learned, behind the scenes on set.
No, he wasn't skating. but my wife, we've actually been posting videos on our personal Facebook of us roller skating. Did you post any on About Us Love?
No, but I can share some if you guys want to see us do some tricks. Oh my gosh, real quick, guys.
She fell,
No, let me tell the story. Please don't be busting me out like that. So I was trying to get Dale to jump over this crack, and so he didn't do it.
Suicide mission.
No, it was a small crack. And he like tiptoes over it. And I'm like, oh, you a punk. Don't do, like, why didn't you jump? So then I caught myself jumping, and I'm holding the camera on
live, Facebook Live. And she falls.
And I face plant into the ground. And I was just like, well, I mean, you got to get back up. And then eventually Dale got the camera, and after he laughed, right?
And I will say, like for those who are thinking about getting into roller skating, make sure you get the right kind of wheels. Like I know, because I know when we were skating, a woman asked us. She said, I tried skating outside, but I couldn't do it too well because of the wheel. I said, no, you got to get different wheels. So my wife, one of the reasons why she probably fell was because we had a hybrid wheel, which is made for indoors and outdoors, but they're kind of hard. Versus outdoor skating wheels are kind of gummy. They're kind of soft. They're real gummy, and they actually roll over cracks and rocks and stuff a lot better than indoor or hybrid wheels. So one of the reasons why why you probably failed because of the wheels. So we ended up buying different wheels, a set of wheels for our roller skates, which is a whole other project in itself. I do not recommend you do that. If you want to roller skate, make sure you buy outdoor roller skates, because what will end up happening is you'll end up spending $70 to $100 on a pair of skates, and then you'll end up spending like another $30 or $40 on the wheels, plus the bearings, plus the wheel spacers that go inside. So it's
I was about to say,
it's just a whole nother project. Like, so if you guys do want to get in skating, I would say get into it, but make sure you buy skates for outdoors so that they come with outdoor wheels. That's something that we did not do, and ended up having to push out the extra money to buy outdoor wheels for our skates. But we're glad that we did, because now we skate better and faster outside, and the cracks don't make her fall anymore.
Don't make me fall, dude. Anyways, I mean, that's just a little, roller skating info if you wanted to get into that. We can also share the links to where we got our skates from, and our wheels, because you can definitely tell that that's one of the things that we've picked up doing. It's actually been keeping us physically active too.
Yeah, it actually has.
Shoot, my legs burn. Like, it's, ladies, you guys do like the stair climber, or have been doing the stair climber at the gym. Well, I mean, I think this is a good replacement, especially if you want to be outdoors, you still want to work out. That's another thing, another activity, working out.
We usually walk over a mile with a dog, but that's about it.
Oh yeah, with the dog, and I'm carrying the baby, so she's pretty heavy.
Almost
so
4 months, right?
Yeah, so she's almost 4 months. I can't remember how much she weighs, but either way, like that, I'm carrying a weight because she sits in the sling and he's walking with the dog, and so we're just trying to stay active, get outside, get some fresh air. Keeping our distance from other people, of course, but still interacting with one another because I know, like, definitely being in the house. That was one thing as a family we had a conversation about the other day with some of our friends and family members. They were just talking about people who were just in the house and just afraid to come out and only went to like their back porch. And it's just kind of like, I can totally understand why they would do something like that because, like, if you're in the house just watching TV all the time or watching the news the whole time, it could be scary. Like, you'll hear a noise from, like, you're sitting in the living room, you hear a noise from outside, and it's like, oh my gosh, what can that be? And your mind starts racing, but it's because you already have these fearful thoughts on your heart and your mind, and just anything could kind of set you off or startle you.
Yeah.
And, you can kind of retreat to your corner even more. And it's like, I mean, I've done it before and I had to break out of that to the point where this is when I was living by myself a few years ago before I even met you.
A few years ago, we were married for like 4 years.
It's
now.
still a few years. It's still a few years.
It's like almost 7
Oh,
years
Lord,
ago.
Dale. It's a few years, guys. So, I mean, it's okay. Well, when I was living by myself before Dale and I met, I had moved to this one place where people would tell me like, oh yeah, there's shootings going on all the time. And I mean, I was a single mom. I lived on the first level because I'm like, who's going to take them steps? Like, I'm not carrying a baby and groceries up all them steps after a long day of work. Like, y'all better get out of here. I'm on the first level. I don't care. But, people would tell me, oh, you live over there. It's so, it's so dangerous over there. Oh my gosh, you live by yourself and you're on the first level. And, people would kind of put that fear like in my mind. And so then I'll go home and I have this beautiful like patio and I didn't even want to go out on my patio. And I think one day when I got into a mode where I was fasting and praying, I just started to go out onto my back porch and I'm like, man, I need some chairs out here. I can actually make this my space. I used to fall asleep on my patio. And that really broke me out of, that habit of, being afraid to even go outside. Yeah. Just, being afraid because I'm like, well, you guys say shootings are going on, but I don't hear anything. Now, that doesn't mean to go and be ignorant and not be aware of your surroundings. I mean, because I wasn't falling asleep with headphones in my ears and things like that.
Or you just have a dog, like we got a Rottweiler on the porch with you, and fall asleep in peace.
Oh, well, I mean, unless a dog wake you up. I mean, but yeah, you can do that. But I mean, what I'm saying is if the Lord wants you to be in a place where you're at peace, I think that you have to do the work and kind of walk towards that and be at peace and not, worry about it.
Yeah, I agree.
Not have worry or fear about it because, I mean, it's the same with going out. I have an example of like, I have two sisters. I have more sisters, but these are like the two sisters I talk to most frequently. And so I'm the middle child. So the oldest sister, she's the one who's always like, no, let's stay in the house, social distancing. And then my younger sister, she's, I believe, 12 or 13 years younger than my oldest sister. And you can tell the age gap because she's like, when we going to meet up? When we going to like hang out? My birthday's coming up. Are you guys coming to my party? Or are you guys coming? And she's not throwing a party for like her friends or anything. She just wants to see her family. And I get why I get both of their sides. You know what I'm saying? And so I oftentimes have to talk to both of them and be like, no, I understand why she wants to stay in the house. And to the other one, no, I understand why she wants to, go out or why she wants to meet up. And it's because, my oldest sister, she has her family. She has a young son. She has a boyfriend. And it's like, she has her house and things to take care of versus like my younger sister, she had to leave her college friends and just be home with my mom. So yeah. It's almost like, what does she have to do? She's bored. She's tired of watching reality shows. She's bored, essentially. And it's like, she wants to see us. She misses everyone. And in her mind, it's like vacation. But it's something I wanted to say to what you said earlier about like people going out to the beaches. It's like,
That's ludicrous, yo.
I mean, you know what? if they feel safe to go out to the beaches, I mean, if I go to a beach, I know I'm not going to be wearing a mask at a beach because wearing a mask in a store is hot. So
I mean, well, here's my argument. Like when you, well, not with the argument, but here's how I see it. When you were talking about your sister, my thing is like because I know your sister and her, her family, your older sister, they've been quarantined, and your younger sister, she's also been quarantined, so they haven't really been around anybody or exposed to anybody else. So if that's the case, I can understand, like me meeting up with one of my mans or my homie and his wife who have been quarantined, and I've been quarantined. Me and my family have been quarantined as well. Us meeting up, just the four or five of us. I understand that. That's cool. Boom. There's probably low risk, low to no risk there. But when you talking about like going to a beach, that's packed like sardines, and I mean, my thing is like, you don't know what people have. You don't know who they've been around. You know who they've been exposed to. To me, that is just ludicrous because, like I said in the beginning of the podcast, coronavirus, overnight, COVID-19 body count, death toll has gone up almost 300. So it's like, are you really that desperate to be out that you would put yourself at risk around other people who you don't know who they've been around? You don't know if they've even been keeping themselves quarantined or wearing a mask, and you just gonna be like, you was telling me that somebody in your family, you had video chat with them and they was in a store in Florida and nobody had on masks. It's like, do y'all realize that coronavirus has a huge death toll in America? And you just out, la, 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 la. I'm going to go get some food. I'm going to go to the store. It's like, come on, man. Like, get real. Like, I understand people, wanting to be out, wanting to go out. I understand that. But at what risk? At your life? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. To me, it's kind of stupid. It's like having sex. It's like, yeah, you might get a fulfillment, momentarily, but it's like, what's the risk? You could catch something, AIDS or some type of STD. It's like, to me, the act doesn't justify what the end could be. You know what I'm saying? To me. Mm-hmm. Now I will say, like I said before, I'm cool. Like, since everything been going on, my sister and her husband have been coming over, but they've been quarantining themselves as well. I'm cool with that. If you've been quarantining for 2 or 3 months now and you haven't really been around anybody, and when you've been out, you've had a mask on, I'm cool with us kicking it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, not just a mask, but basically, that they're taking the proper
precautions.
Yeah. They're being respectful when they're coming to your home and
versus going out among some randos that I don't even know. Like, I mean,
well, they I don't know if that's still in the works, but they were trying to come out with an app. You heard about that, Dale? They were trying to come out with an app to like track who you've been around. So to like, if you've been exposed. Yeah. No, you haven't heard about that?
Nah, miss me with all that. Yeah. Nah. I mean, just like another money making tool.
I was thinking, I mean, why haven't they come out with that for like HIV and AIDS? But
who you had sex with?
I mean, that might be a little bit easier because, like, I mean, you can say like, okay, I hung out with X, Y, and Z, on this day, and so I've only been around them, and they don't have it, and I don't have it. But then let's say they forgot to say that they stopped by a gas station or stopped by a store. And then it's kind of like they've been exposed to, I don't know, somebody who used the pump before them. It's just too much to think about. And I think it just comes down to being led by the Lord. Even when you're doing these like different activities, even when you're going out. I mean, if you feel like, it's a day to stay home, or it's a day to go out, it's a day to just take a breather, always like consult with the Lord for your day to day. And I think that's the main thing that we have gotten away from. Yeah. Like, we're so used to being on the go get this money. Like, I mean, it's crazy how much people are talking about, like, yeah, I need to get back to the money. But I've spoken with some friends who've been like, man, I'm so glad it shut down because my body was breaking down and I needed to rest. Yeah. Like, I need my bills paid, yes, but Lord, thank you. I just needed this break.
Yeah.
So.
No, I'm saying, and that's something too that I think a lot of us don't really think about, is that oftentimes, like, a lot of us, I know, like myself, I only have 3 weeks and 2 days of vacation, and I've been in my company for like 10 years now. So I think for a lot of us, we really don't take time off a lot. Last year I worked really, really hard because we bought our house in October. So last year I worked a lot of overtime so we could have the necessary funds to get the house and have a little money left over to buy certain things that we needed to buy once we move in. So last year was really a really hard working year for us. So yeah. I mean, to be honest, like when everything first hit, I was kind of upset because with the COVID-19 they cut all the overtime. I was like, man, but actually since the COVID-19 has actually we've been quarantined, it's actually really been a breath of fresh air. Because because if it wasn't, I would have been working, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? But so I mean, yeah, I just definitely agree. I know you and I, and I'm pretty sure who made that comment, they're in a position to be able to be at peace and be relaxed. But a lot of people are not. So for a lot of people, I definitely can understand that. While I don't even know if they can be at peace because bills got to be paid, the mortgage got to be paid, tuition got to be paid. So it's like I really can't be at peace. You know what I'm saying? Especially for those who, if it was the only person in the house and only had one income, it definitely can cripple a person's finances. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
It has.
I mean, well, it's something that we were talking about maybe a few weeks ago, just about how people, they want the economy to open back up because, they want things to get back to normal. Like they see this virus as a inconvenience to their lifestyle. But, maybe we need to change our lifestyle. I know one thing you always talk about with me is living below our means. And not to say that everyone can.
Practice, yeah.
Yeah, not to say that everyone can, but it's almost like you start to realize, yeah, I'm living on a little bit too much. I'm living on way too much. Like one thing I started to think about, when we talk about activities that we have been doing while under the stay-at-home order, I started to think, like, yeah, I need to go shopping. My weight is a little bit different. My body is a little bit different after having this baby. And so I can't really fit my clothes. Like pre-baby, I cannot fit those clothes. Like things are just fitting a little bit differently. And I started to try to like go to different stores online and try to see what I can buy. And then I'm like, well, hold up. Maybe I can make some things. Like maybe I can ask some people for like their old dress shirts and clothes and kind of revamp some things. I borrowed my grandmother's sewing kit. Like I said earlier, I pulled out my crochet hooks and some yarn. And I'm like, maybe I can make a few outfits for myself and, tailor that to what I'm wearing now. So just, finding ways to be more resourceful as well. I mean, we have some friends of ours that are now growing their own food. They're in the process of growing their food.
Well, they already started, but yeah.
Well, yeah, they've already started growing their food. So I think that's one thing that this pandemic has done for my way of thinking. And I think just finding more ways to be creative, be more active with your family, and also just, be in tune with the Lord during this time.
Just pivoting, just pivoting. I think for a lot of people, it's actually hurt them because we become accustomed to doing things for so long. It's not second nature to us just to pivot, and that's probably something that people who are younger can do. One of the jokes that my buddy was joking around with, he's 40 years old. He was like, when you're young, you can just go to another job, start a career over it. Cause he's thinking about starting a different career. He was just saying how, when you're 40 years old, it's not as easy as when you're 25, you know what I'm saying? Which is true, So yeah, I left one railroad job and started another railroad job, and I was doing that one previously for 6-7 years, and now I've been in this one for about 4 or 5 years. So yeah, I was 25, 26. But my point is that when you're with Corona going on, it's difficult for a lot of people to pivot. And what I mean by that is like, just do different things. Do something that you wouldn't have thought about doing, you know what I'm saying? Cause I know some people that I speak to, that I work with, they're not very active. They just, before they was going to the club or going to the bar or hanging out with some girl at a restaurant, versus now, the only thing they can do is watch TV all day or go for a walk. So it's like just learning to pivot in these times,
Well, I definitely enjoyed today's conversation.
Me too. Thank you guys for tuning in. We definitely enjoyed sharing with you guys, what we've been doing, what we've been up to. We would love to hear what you guys are up to. If you could definitely just follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and you can always, listen to our podcast on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and just anywhere where you can find podcasts. You can definitely just look us up, and we're there. So until next time, peace.